Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Keep It a Buck Reaction Channel. Today I have a special guest with me. As you saw in my Kendrick Lamar disses to Drake, I have my brother back here again with me, Drew. You're probably going to see him a lot more often on the channel. But yeah, hopefully you guys went and checked out our reaction to Kendrick Lamar's disses to Drake. But yeah, a thing that had popped up, it's kind of circulating over the media right now, is this guy, Coolee Bravo. His interview, I guess he was the guy that kind of gave Drake the fake information about Kendrick Lamar.
Coolee he's been a tough nut to crack for me. Pause. I've tried to look up information. I've tried to look up writing credits outside of his own albums, his own solo work. He's a writer inside of Kendrick's camp. He references Daylight a lot. Battle rap fans know Daylight. Hopefully a lot more industry people and just casuals are going to know Daylight after this, because I believe I'm in the minority. I love Daylight. I've always loved Daylight. He's a troll, but like I get it. I think he has some of the greatest rounds and lines in battle rap history, and that he is criminally underrated because he's so different.
Again, before we get off this Daylight whatever, but I think Daylight's pen is better than Lux's pen when he wants to be serious. Like, I think Daylight's pen is...
Oh, I think Daylight has the best pen in battle rap history when he wants to. Yeah. And I think that we haven't had like confirmation of him or Coolee's roles as far as writing in this beef and what their content has been, but we got from this interview, we got confirmation that they were both a part of it and in the studio session, and were a part of seeing Kendrick react to everything. And but again, Coolee, I'd have a better chance on finding stuff on Daylight.
Yeah, dude.
I just know that he's a writer in Kendrick's camp that is from Chicago and based out of Atlanta now, and that he has so much beef with Drake's camp. So much.
Again, a writer in Kendrick's camp, but also he's a friend of who's a friend of Kendrick type thing. So,
and again, an artist on his own. He's an artist in his own right. He has look him up on Apple Music. He has his own music. He has albums. He has his own stuff as well.
But we're just gonna play the clip that is kind of circulating around the media from this interview. Yeah, it's kind of broken up. Like, it's hard to hear some people in this interview because all over a phone, it seems like, or whatever.
Yeah, and lots of different people.
Yeah, it's like
as well that end up jumping in randomly in the conversation that I didn't even know was there.
So we're going to listen to this clip, and then we'll give our thoughts on what's being said and just this whole thing. So let's get into this.
Yep, yeah. Atlanta's not fucking with this man at all.
So many Chicago niggas out here said, nigga, I said, nigga, we got this.
Chicago.
Yo, can you speak on the 150K Drake put out for the info?
Oh, hell yeah. That ain't discreet. I can talk about this shit all. Let's I like these conversations. This is street shit. Okay, let me tell you about it.
It sounds like just like a friend is like, oh yeah, well, you want me to talk? Yeah, let me say something. It's like,
can I say that was issue that I had with this was this dude was singing. He couldn't wait to talk about everything. He came off very thirsty to me, and you'll hear it in just the way he sounds, the things he's talking about, the fact that he couldn't. It was like he couldn't wait the whole interview, because this 45 minutes into a little over an hour interview. He was waiting that whole 45 minutes for them to ask about this.
Waiting,
oh, hell yeah.
Waiting for someone to ask me this question.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, let's go. I can talk about that. That's public information.
Ass nigga. Drake sent some niggas to Atlanta not knowing. See, this is why I say Kendrick fucked him up at. Kendrick power trickled down to me. He tried to come down here and give some niggas some money for information on Kendrick. Now, mind you, I can't get no information on Kendrick because I'm only tied to his friend named L. L is actually on the timeline with us. L got less followers than me. People are so dumb they don't realize it's people with like 100 followers or like 5K followers it's actually like related to this nigga. His sister is on fucking Twitter. All of us are on Twitter. They just looking at me because I got so many followers. I said, bro, y'all niggas don't really understand what's happening. So they come to me. They try to get one of my little homies 150K. They try to get him 100K, right? So I say, what they asking for? They say they want to know something about Kendrick. I said, Kendrick ain't from Atlanta or fucking Chicago. So what the fuck they asking? They said, what do you know about that? What did you know about Whitney and all that shit? And I said, Whitney who? My girl? I said, because my girl name Whitney. They said, no, Kendrick girl. I said, Whitney is up there with him. Now, mind you, that's a bombshell. They don't know that. Drake talking all that shit about why you live in New York. I said, oh, they stupid. I said, take the money. I'm gonna tell them a lie. So I took the 100. I said, matter of fact, on top of that, I said, tell them put the 50K on it.
So I don't know. Was it Family Matters where Drake kind of said
the New York while they're living across from each other, yeah, and because of the, that's your queen and you've been apologized or you've been engaged for 9 years and all that stuff, and yeah, and now we know that was all fed to him.
What do you know about that? What did you know about Whitney and all that shit? And I said, Whitney who? My girl? I said, because my girl name Whitney. They said, no, Kendrick girl. I said, Whitney is up there with him. Now, mind you, that's a bombshell. They don't know that. Drake talking all that shit about why you live in New York. I said, oh, they stupid. I said, take the money. I'm gonna tell them a lie. So I took the 100. I said, matter of fact, on top of that, I said, tell them put the 50K on it, and I'll tell them where they at. I told them Kendrick was in fucking LA still. They gave me the money, and I gave 50K to my niggas, and they was like, oh, we got it. And they was like, why you in? The next song, what was that song? What song? Family Ties came out.
Or Matters, right?
Family Matters.
And we laughed. And I said, that nigga's stupid. So while Drake was talking about bait and all this shit, I said, nigga, we got your money and you ain't even getting nothing. I was like, you didn't get no information, you dumbass nigga. But I couldn't say it.
That reverse mole shit he did was so corny. That was so corny. That was so fake. Come on.
Drake is dumb, bro. I said, this nigga, he is so fucking stupid. They gave me I said, give me 50 more K and I'll tell you something. I said, okay, they in LA right now. Mind you, Whitney and fucking Kendrick is in fucking New York at this time. That nigga was
in street. He doesn't
see, but that right there, right? Shit. That's again, we saw video of Kendrick. They said he was in Brooklyn doing the pull-ups.
Yes,
like, bro, clearly he's not in LA. Why, like,
yeah,
Drake, like, you're so tapped in on the socials. Pay attention. It's right there in front of you. He's clearly in New York, my guy.
150K, bro. Oh my!
Dropped another 50 racks on there to get misinformation.
But if you use that information and only used it for that one line, is like 150K. I know you bet a lot, but like that's a lot of money just for that one line. Or what is it? You think it was a whole angle? But I feel like
I think that he tried to use it as an angle,
right.
But I think that was it reeked of desperation to me.
Yeah,
every angle he took, honestly, from your splits, making music with pop stars, you're short, you wear a size 7 shoe, you beat your girl, you got molested. Like, which he totally misstepped on damn near every one of those, except for the factual, like, maybe Kendrick does wear a size 7, and Kendrick is short. Great. Beef won. Idiot.
He's getting played.
Exactly. He a Canadian nigga trying to get information from Black Americans from the hood.
I know nothing about this violence.
Nah,
that
he got extorted.
That nigga stupid. That's why I was talking crazy on the timeline the other day. I said, I got this nigga. I said, I got 150 bands for nothing. And that's what Kendrick said. You came back with no receipts. I said, exactly, nigga, because you fucking stupid. You didn't even know he was talking to, dummy. You fucking idiot. You gave me 150 bands. I should have asked for 200. But that nigga when they put Family Ties out, and then Kendrick smoked his ass. I was like, well, that's what you get for trying to. He said you try to put money in the streets, and you came back with no receipts. I said exactly, nigga. I said, yo, stupid ass nigga. He's fucking.
And it's not the first time he's done that because it backfired with Pusha too.
Mhm.
This nigga can't learn from his mistakes. Clearly,
He think niggas gonna tell on him for money. I was like, you have to understand something about hood niggas. Certain hood niggas that are broke will give you that information. If you run into a nigga who is not, the thing about him that fucked him up, I'm popular, right? So when you run into a popular nigga, you have to understand, I already have money. So you can't really get anything out of me that I don't already have. Like, giving me 100K or 150K is like giving me some shit that I got for a feature. So I'll take that any time of the day. He didn't realize he was talking to me. I was like, I'm not going to destroy a nigga from America for some Canadian niggas. I said, you got the game fucked up.
That's major to me. Right there, that's so telling of like Drake's character and showing how out of touch he is all at the same time, to think that you could just throw a number at somebody and then they'll just flip like that. Like, your value is in the money. You're showing that. You're showing that you think you can just buy somebody off because money is the end all be all
solution.
Yeah. And you think that people have those same morals and the same, they value the same things that you do, which clearly, based off of your subject matter of your raps, is the lifestyle, the money, and all of that. And he thought that he could just, again, that shows how out of touch he is with culture, especially street culture, American street culture, West Coast street culture, even though, I mean, he was in Atlanta doing it, but like, that's just it. Again, strategy, misstepping just terribly and making yourself look even worse and giving ammunition to Kendrick in the process of it all and losing 150 racks behind it.
Yeah, and then, again, reacting to the diss tracks and then hearing this information and just knowing how Kendrick was playing this whole thing just makes those diss tracks and just the strategy of it all just that much impactful. And like, hold this L, my guy. Hold the L, Drake. Like,
it makes the diss tracks for me hit a lot harder, knowing more of the story behind both sides, and it just shines a light even more on the fact that Drake's execution and strategy were terrible, about as bad as they could be, and Kendrick's were about as good as you could possibly have.
The preparation, man. Let's play a little bit of more of this, and then I think they kind of go off track.
Yeah, this interview, by the way, this is an hour 14-minute interview. It is all over the place.
I mean,
they touch on a lot of stuff.
Pusha T
here.
and then Pharrell, then he's kind of going over here.
There's a lot in there. I will say this: there's a lot in there that I didn't know. There's a lot in there that's very interesting.
But if this was clean audio, I think it would be more bearable to listen to.
Huge,
but like, you have people from another phone who's talking through another phone.
Yeah,
and you get these other voices that I'm like, where are these coming from? Someone from the UK, it sounds like.
Yeah, people talking all over each other randomly, and like there's no cohesion to it or anything. Yeah. But yeah.
You have to take that L when Kendrick responded back to him that fast and say, "Oh, this nigga's green." That's what we call it. We call it green. This nigga green. He don't know nothing. Stupid ass nigga.
and he don't know shit because this ain't his shit. He didn't grow up in this shit. He don't know shit about it. And that's so. Even like as a younger kid hearing Drake, I was like, that don't even sound like. What song was it? This was like early 2010s. I heard him and I asked my brother, I was like, is he white? And that never left me because his voice just always sounded weird to me. Like, you can tell from every step.
The shit don't lie, girl. I know you like those songs. I know you liked it. I know you was bumping Best I Ever Had. I know you was don't play it down now.
This woman in this interview, she ruined a lot for me just because of stuff like that. She claimed right there, right? I asked my brother if it was a white boy. When she also claims in the interview that her older brothers had her watching Degrassi, so that's how she knows Drake, is through that.
Nah.
So you knew who Drake was.
Yeah.
Don't get on.
You stepped on your.
Don't get on the interview now talking about, oh, he sounds white and blah, blah, blah. And I wasn't messing with. She starts to reference also Started From the Bottom. She talks about Started From the Bottom a little later in the interview about how that was corny and you didn't start from no bottom and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, again, we've talked about it. A huge Drake fan.
Yes.
Huge.
Yes.
I'll never say that I never mess with Drake. Never. I'll never say that Started From the Bottom is not like one of my favorite Drake lines. I'm gonna worry about me, give a about you. Like he ain't sound white right there, but stop that.
Yeah,
stop, because that's what she was. She was talking about the Nothing Was the Same album is the one that she talks mainly about and how he sounds on it and stuff. And it's like, don't act like that wasn't a classic. Don't act like he didn't have hits on there
exactly.
that you weren't out there singing word for word, baby girl.
Even girls who don't like Kendrick or not Kendrick or Drake, they have this one song of Drake's that like they will sing when it comes on. So don't
be
play
real.
me. Don't play it like that.
Everyone out there listening right now, you have a Drake song.
I know you do.
You know it. And I know it. I know that I'll sing it with you.
It's okay.
Everyone has a Drake song and that's okay. Or a Drake feature or a Drake whatever. But everyone has some Drake in their life, and that's okay.
Yeah, so so from there on, they kind of just get off track, and then we're just gonna stop that interview right there. But I think it's interesting the sources that Drake was willing to go to for information. I mean, to send his guys out there that he trusts now. I don't know if he trusts them now, but to go to a different city other than LA. I don't know if people are going to tell stuff in LA or they could have went to a different.
I think that was one of the only things that Drake did right is that he knew not to go to LA and dig for information there. Cause it's like, no, no one in LA is going to speak on Kendrick like that. And you know that if you go to LA and try to put money out in the streets, how quick is word going to get back to Kendrick on that? He thought he was being smart by going somewhere else with it.
But you just all
and it totally backfired on him. I have just a couple, like we said, he talked about a lot. Coolee said he had that Kendrick has a song that will ruin Drake. Like not just a jab, but that will actually ruin Drake. I did think it was interesting the Top Dog and Punch. And how how Top went on Twitter and was like, it's over.
Yeah.
This is done. And Coolee touched on that by saying, like, those are street guys. Those aren't industry guys telling you that it's over. These are street guys telling you it's over. So when they say it's over, I'm gonna listen. And they're listening. But also, like, reports are coming out today that if it weren't for the shootings and all this stuff that's been going on with Drake and the XO camp allegedly,
the tracks may still have
that Drake is gonna that the only reason Drake hasn't dropped again is because that stuff was going on. So when Top and Punch say it's over, yeah, it's over on the west side. But if Drake keeps going, then yeah, and Kendrick has that one that will end him. He alluded to the fact that the industry put a stop to it. That UMG, Universal Music Group, stepped in, and that they are trying to put an end to this whole deal, this whole beef. He also says that Universal is the reason he can't speak on Drake's alleged daughter, and that he can't speak publicly about that is because of the industry. He says that the Red Button song was Family Matters. He confirmed that. He said that the 5+5, Kendrick has 5 more, 2 up-tempo that are not like us, 2 mids that are more like a Euphoria or something, and then he has 1 more dark one like Meet the Grams.
Jeez, man.
I'm not ready for that. I can't do another Meet the Grams, man. I can't do another one. I need
it was too much.
I can't do it yet. He said the original Euphoria was 19 minutes.
Yeah,
that's like some Game type shit right there. Like when Game was coming out with
bars and running,
yeah, exactly,
on some DJ Ski stuff.
Which, by the way, we'll get back to it later. But the diss tracks, that's a great diss track, even though it's like 2 hours long. Great diss track. Here was something interesting that a couple things actually. One, Coolee said that the big three are Kendrick, Kanye, and Future. He said in the industry, that's the real big three. Kendrick, for obvious reasons he's proving right now, and the West Coast ties. Kanye, because of the influence and just everyone, like just Kanye being Kanye as a whole. And Future, because Future is the last real and believable street dude. Street rapper that he might not have the bars and all that stuff, but he's got the authenticity and he's got Atlanta. Future can do no wrong in Atlanta. And I mean, look at who everyone messes with. Like features, why everyone gets with Future.
Like, especially with how music is nowadays, especially hip hop in the state that it's in right now, with these pockets of the sound. Future fits that mold perfectly, and he's been like that since
he's evolved. He's been in the game as longer than Kendrick and Drake have.
Yeah.
Like Future's been around.
Astronaut, the Pluto man. I mean, like,
don't give me. We could do a 10-hour pod on Future and his influence, how great he is,
bro. Man, like Future, sound wise, is perfect for nowadays and how people sound and go for sound. So, yeah.
And
makes sense.
On the Future front, he he said a couple interesting things as far as Future goes. He said that Kendrick didn't end Drake. He said Drake ended himself by going against Future because of the status and the respect that Future has. That Kendrick didn't do it. Drake did it to himself by going against Future, and that he said that Kendrick got on like that and smoked Drake like that for Future. That's crazy if Kendrick was low-key a hired gun by Future to take out Drake.
I would have loved to hear that phone call of Future calling Kendrick, "Hey, I have this track. We have an album. We don't trust you." And just to see his reaction to Kendrick spending that verse in studio, or him hearing
He was probably just sitting in the back like a villain.
Oh man!
But I thought that was. He said that Drake is done in Atlanta. He says that even 21, the reason why 21 hasn't come out and spoke is because of Atlanta politics and B, label stuff, like more industry stuff. But he says that he's done. He's done in Atlanta. He's basically, Drake is burning a bunch of bridges, man. It's gonna get real lonely. And
so much for the features, man.
The narrative switch. That was, you know what, one of my big what ifs is. I'm curious to see A, when the next Drake album is going to drop, and B, who's going to be on it. Is it going to be the Sexy Reds and the Harlows and all the young kids, or who's going to be the first big? Who's going to be the first 2 Chainz or Quavo or whoever to jump on a track with Drake and put his name next to Drake on something? I'm really curious to see, and I'm just honestly, I'm curious to see the content from Drake going forward. I'm curious to hear what he's going to be rapping about. To
see just how Drake moves forward after this whole beef and the unfolding of his life, basically, of these allegations and how they unfold, is going to be very, very interesting to see. Yeah, you got anything else from this interview?
I did. You know what I did like? I did really like that he said that, here, real quick, too, as we talked about in the reaction. Coolee brought up a really good point. He says Drake is disassociated from the hood and that he doesn't understand the saying some things don't go over. Certain people you can't speak about in hip hop. Pharrell is one of those people. And then Coolee says, quote, how can you beef with a dude who made Happy?
Yeah. I was dying laughing at that part.
For one, I didn't know that. I didn't know Pharrell was one of those people, for one.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I know
I get it.
He has. I mean, he's well known, obviously,
Of course. And
But-
brilliant and classics on classics.
to be held in this standard of you mess with him.
Untouchable.
Yeah, that was.
Who knew?
Okay, Mister the tall hat.
And he followed that up too, and he said that he said we don't hate Drake. We hate that he acts tough. We know he's a good rapper. I couldn't agree more with that. Drake can rap. Drake makes dope songs, dope music. We know he can do all that. So just do it. Don't have this whole bravado and persona that's all fake and that we can see through. Like, stop all that. We like you as is, bro. Just be, Kendrick said, keep making this music.
Yeah, bro.
We'll be fine, bro. What's been wrong with that?
Like, Nice for What? I mean, that's a great song, my guy. Nice for What?
God's Plan. That whole Scorpion album.
You can make a lot of those sounding songs, but yeah, I like.
But he stated like we've discussed, he misstepped on Pac, everything Pac related, the chains, all of that. It basically. Oh, and he was also behind the TikTok video of Drake's dad. I don't know if you saw that one that popped out with the girls.
That is weird. That was very strange.
And that's what I mean. Like the interview, it's worth a listen. You do have to be patient. There are a lot of moving parts in the interview. There's a lot of drop-ins. There's a lot of talking over each other. If you try to follow the closed captioning that they put on it, that's a little bit tough too. It helps in parts, but overall it's tough. But it's an informative interview. It's an interesting interview. Just listen to this guy talk. You can tell he's very eager about it. You can tell, like Kendrick, he does not like Drake. He does not like OVO. I thought that was interesting. This is the first time we've really seen writers going at it, because he really does not like Beam. And Kendrick mentioned Beam in it was Euphoria, I believe. Either that or 616, but he mentions Beam by name. And Coolee talks about Beam a lot and how he doesn't like him. Coolee, I thought, was interesting. He mentioned how he said that within the camps that Kendrick's writing team is so. He says our worst writer is way better than their best writer. And the proof is in the pudding through these disses. But I thought that was an interesting kind of peek behind the curtain, because that's always been somewhat of a no-no with the ghostwriting. That's kind of what got Drake in trouble before with the Quentin Miller stuff and all of that. And now we're just kind of being wide open about it, and a writer is doing interviews.
That's what I'm saying. Like, everyone has writers, man. Like,
yeah.
But Drake is just the one that gets glorified as like, oh, you, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's an
everyone has
interesting,
friends.
yeah.
So,
but yeah, it's a good interview. There's a lot in there that really, there's a lot of eye-opening things, especially if you're not all the way tapped in on everything that's been going on with this, or with just Drake kind of as a person and the allegations that have started to follow him around. It was an informative interview, and it was good. And just, I mean, let's be honest, he was Coolee.
he's, again, it's like he was waiting for someone to like, hey,
he couldn't wait to talk about this.
Can I interview you? It's
yeah.
Like, yes.
This is my moment. Finally, they're going to remember me for this shit. Like, and he did. And here we are talking about it.
Exactly.
So good on him. I'm not mad at him for that.
But yeah, the man has a Twitter. He took it. He like took his Twitter down, and then
he deleted it the day after this came out.
Yeah. So
and then reactivated it today. I believe.
Very interesting. But yeah, you got anything else?
No, that's it. Again, good interview. Listen to a lot in there. Be patient with it.
Great tidbits, though.
Yes,
things.
And again, the bombshell of giving the information of the payment for false information that just kind of really unlocked a whole lot within this beef and sheds a whole lot of light on things and really makes you go back and listen to the tracks in a different way. Now that you kind of you're armed with the information and with the hindsight, it makes going back and listening to the tracks a whole lot different. So I would encourage everyone to go back and listen to the songs again after listening to some of the tidbits or listening to this and just that one part, and then go back, listen to the songs, and then go vote on the poll from the last pod, from the reaction video.
Yes.
And I dare you to vote for Drake.
There's a poll on my Spotify of the episode that we dropped of just recapping the Drake and Kendrick stuff, the Keep It a Buck daily podcast on Spotify, Apple Music. So you can place your vote there, listen to the episode.
Listen, rate, subscribe.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Don't you dare vote for Drake. I'm not going to get out of the chair again.
Okay. People are going to write their comments of what they feel, but let me know who you thought won this beef in the comments. And if we see any guys pick Drake, I will make a burner account and troll you.
You're blocked.
I'm joking, guys. But hopefully we've done enough to earn your subscription for this video. Like the video. And again, keep it a buck. This shit.
My shit different, making the kills to pay the bills. You see the spots we living in. Tried your best to recreate me, but we not equivalent. Everybody hit fugazi, all on our ass sizzling. Run shit like condition.